I have to show this because it's so incorrect, incongruous and funny that we have to lol. The signpost is indicating that St. Paul's is towards our left. If I pan across, it's pretty evident that that's not where St. Paul's is, right? It's giving the right direction for the Globe Theatre, which is that way, okay, which is the direction I came from. It's providing the right directions for the National Arts and Entertainment Centres, which is also known as South Bank. However, it's obviously pointing in the wrong direction for St. Paul's Cathedral, because contrary to St. Paul's being towards the left, it is actually to the right and across from the river. See? So the signage is wrong. When we are headed towards a destination and we have a journey to make, the signage better be right, or else we end up in the wrong destination. There is the Oxo Tower, and I'm going to pan across and show you this inconspicuous building right here. It appears to be kind of a bit nondescript, but in actual fact this is London Television Centre, where they make a number of the news programs for the ITV channel, and we're literally just yards away from the National Theatre as well as the South Bank complex and the Hayward Gallery. And again in the distance are the churches of Fleet Street, as well as on that side St. Paul's Cathedral, and again the Gherkin over there. The South Bank is essentially where a lot of artists will hang out at the weekends, particularly on Saturdays. Under the bridge there's often a sort of book market where dealers bring antique books or just simple paperbacks, and they sell for a few pounds. Otherwise, during summer, a lot of the time festivals are held along the South Bank, including South American festivals where Argentinians and Brazilians and Colombians gather. They bring their food stalls, everybody visits, everybody has a great time. There's lively entertainment and music, and when the sun is out in particular, people laze about on the grass and enjoy family picnics. It's great walking along the southern embankment because you get to meet and see a lot of people from different nationalities who've all gathered on this side of the river. They're not particularly interested in the shopping districts. All they're interested in is the culture. And up there we can see the IBM logo. Some of the classical purist architecture designers take objection to the South Bank complex because they consider it to be indicative of the types of monstrosities which were built during the 1970s, in so much as it's predominantly about concrete and steel. Aesthetically, it's not that pleasing to the eye for some. Certainly in comparison to, for example, the Houses of Parliament, St. Paul's, even the King's Complex across the river, or Buckingham Palace, or essentially any building built prior to the 20th century, the South Bank is considered to be an eyesore. Nonetheless, it attracts a lot of visitors because the National Theatre is here, in which case they put on productions from Chekhov, directed by the likes of Richard Eyre or Trevor Nunn or Oscar winners. So a cyclist almost ran over me, which is quite funny. So there we have the National Theatre, and a script by Terry Pratchett is being shot here, sponsored by Accenture. I'm going to carry on walking down past the National Theatre towards the London Eye. Here we are at the entrance to the National Theatre. As we can see, they built some sort of astroturf surface here where people can sit down. It's quite a colourful break from the monotony of the grey stone all around us. Aha! And the book market seems to be happening as well today. Another important point to note about the National Theatre is that when the London Film Festival happens, a lot of the films are actually premiered inside the National Theatre. So when visitors come to participate in that event, they also arrive at the book market. So these are all the books which are available for purchase, and there are several rows of them. Let's see some of the titles. There is A Patriot in Berlin by Piers Paul Reed. There's Joyce Grenfell's In Pleasant Places. There's The Road to Gandolfo by Robert Ludlum. Quite a lot of the authors are English, it would seem. There's Cold Mountain by Charles Frazier, which is probably recognizable on both sides of the Atlantic. There's some A.S. Byatt, there's Daniel Defoe's Moral Flanders. I haven't come across any French or Italian language books yet, or literature, so I'm going to watch out for that. For some strange reason, somebody has decided to make this tree into what would appear to be a polka dot bikini or a toadstool. It's clearly a piece of art because on the white bubbles people have graffitied over their information. This is going to get a close-up of some of the messages that people have left. So this one says, I love Becky, Jonathan Wilkes forever. Joanna loves cake. There's a CND sign. There is a message that says Neo is fat. I'm wondering who Neo refers to. Maybe it is a reference to the Keanu Reeves character in The Matrix, or maybe it's somebody called Napoleon or something abstract. I think this is some Russian here. And from what I can make out, nobody has actually drawn a picture as such. So a lot of it is text words. Aha! And then somebody has drawn a heart in the middle of an eye. That's quite interesting art. And up at the top is the sign of the question mark, which we can see in that video from the Black Eyed Peas called Where is the Love, which has backing vocals with Justin Timberlake.